Is that better, Stephanie? Thank you for letting me know. So, I was just rambling and nobody could hear me right there. We'll start this over from the beginning. Sorry for the people who've already watched 1.5 minutes and there's no sound. There we go. Thank you for letting me know, Stephanie. Basically what I said was I'm going to give us a minute to get the chat room started here. We do this every Friday at 8:30. We also post a Disney Store video every Monday, and every Wednesday we post a Disney Parks video. And we actually have plans to do more than that coming up here in the future, but right now that's all there is. Today we're going to do basically a recap of D23. I am kind of going to go off of a couple articles here. Let's see if I can find the WW News Today article, and we're just going to kind of go over everything. If I go over something too fast, feel free to come back and ask questions about something in the past, and we can kind of jump all over the place. Let's see, in-depth review, D23. Tune in tonight for D23 discussion. Let's see. Yes. Crazy Christine crew, thanks for watching. As usual, Stephanie Lockwood, thanks for watching again. We are going to get started here. I am trying to find the actual, a rundown of the D23 announcement. So give me a second here. It's actually been a crazy couple of days for us. Nothing too crazy, and we're not going to get into it too much, but we kind of been into the doctors a few times for Quinn and all this stuff. So I guess I'm just going to go through the D23 website. I can't find the article that was kind of like a summary of it. But if I go through too quick on anything and I kind of glaze over something that you want to hear more about, just go back and let me know, and we will start over from scratch. Like I said, today's going to be mainly D23. And if there's also something from D23 that I didn't cover, or something outside of D23 that you have questions or you want to know my opinions on, I don't know why you care about my opinions, but you're here watching, and that's great, and I really am appreciative of that. Then let me know, and we can go back and cover anything that you may want to talk about. Sorry guys, here I'm just trying to get everything pulled up and going. We are going to start with, we kind of covered a little bit of this last week. So if you watched last week, the beginning of this is going to be a little bit of a kind of refresher, because last Friday we already had the first day of D23 in the bag, and we were able to discuss kind of what was there. But on Friday, or I guess it was Thursday night before D23, so 8 days ago, we got the preview of the model of Star Wars. And if you watched last week's show, I said I thought that's what the whole D23 announcement was going to be. I had actually very low expectations for what we were going to get out of D23 this year. And we got that before it even officially started, which was great. It looks great. There's going to be 2 rides in it. We've seen the ride vehicle for March of the First Order, or Retreat from the First Order, or something like that. And then the other thing is going to be you get to fly the Millennium Falcon. Awesome. I'm not going to go over too much unless anybody in the chat room or on Twitter or Facebook, where we are also kind of taking comments from, wants to talk about it. Let me get this up there. There we go. Change the little icon thing up there. So yes, getting started. After that, I think the next thing that we heard, I talked a little bit about the minivans last week, and I showed an image of these Honda vans. They are not it, and the rumor that it was Chevy sponsored vans are actually true. They the day after D23 ended, or I believe last Saturday was the parks announcement. I believe Sunday morning they were out and about in Disney World, and the minivans, if you haven't seen them yet, there's these Chevy Traverses, I believe, and they are polka dotted. And for the first, I think still, so the first weeks now, they've been free, complimentary. I think it's just at Beach Club or Boardwalk or something like that, but they've been testing them out. They're free so far. The rumor is they're going to run off Lyft, which is a competitor to Uber, if you are not aware, and you should use Lyft. Don't use Uber. Just my personal opinion. But they are going to be $20 a ride, up to 6 people is what I've heard, which is a lot of money. You can get an Uber or a Lyft that isn't polka dotted anywhere on property. I keep hearing the number $8 on podcasts and on Twitter and stuff like that. Everyone basically says for under $8 you can get anywhere in the park, and so $20 is borderline 3 times the cost. It's 2.5 times the cost. So that's just a lot of money, but it's cool. If I was down there right now and I was a beach club or I was anywhere where I could pick one up, I would ride a minivan for sure. On to the next thing. I believe that's all that we covered last week that hasn't been covered so far. We talked a lot about rumors. I was guessing that basically we weren't going to get very much, and then after they showed the Star Wars model, which I thought was going to be the big thing, I was like, man, we're probably going to get a ton more. And there were so many rumors going into this about things that were going to happen at Magic Kingdom and things that were going to happen at Epcot. And this is going to be the rundown of what we got here. Galaxy's... Oh, by the way, Star Wars Land, as we've been calling it, is now called Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. I'm not sure anybody's going to refer to it as Galaxy's Edge. I'm fairly positive at this point that everyone's going to continue to call it Star Wars Land. Let me know in the comments or in the chat room if you like the names Galaxy's Edge. I don't hate it, but it just seems unnecessary. Like, I'm good. Just like I call it Harry Potter World, or I really call it Harry Potter at Universal, I'm probably not going to refer to this anything other than Star Wars Land. So, but cool. I'm sure there's a story that I did not watch the full D23 thing, but I'm sure there's a story behind it. Let's see. This is all movies, Okay, the first thing they announced, or at least the first thing on the list, let's see. Minivans have up to 2 car seats on request. I did not know that, and that's great to know. Courtney and I were just talking about this. Mouse Seeker said that, I'm sorry. The Mouse Seeker said minivans have up to 2 car seats on request. Courtney and I were just talking about this the other day about how, like, they're cool and all, but, like, having a kid, I know with Ubers you can order Uber Family, and I'm sure Lyft has an option similar to it, but it's risky getting it. I mean, we lived in Chicago prior to where we live now, and we have friends and know of people who get in taxis and Ubers without car seats, and that's just, I'm not sure that I would even drive through my apartment complex's parking lot without a car seat, but anyways, that's great to know. They have up to 2 car seats upon request. The Mouse Seekers, do you know like how you request that? Is it just within the Lyft app, or right now because it's complimentary, is it like concierge you have to ask them, or do you know anything more about that? Let's see, Crazy Christine Crew. However, if you have a party of 5, you do an Uber XL, which is about 13 to 16. I did not know that. I've heard, but still 20's more, but you do get up to 6 people. But 20's still more. Like, that's, I guess it's up to you. Like, it's a nice novelty, and there are people, I guess I shouldn't say it this way, it makes them sound bad, but there are a large amount of people who probably are not safe getting in an Uber. Or not safe, I shouldn't say safe, who are not comfortable getting in an Uber. I have family myself who, like, the idea of hopping in a stranger's car is, like, terrifying to them. So, like, they would not do that. And the minivan run by Disney, while it's more money, I think the convenience and the safety of, like, it being a Disney product would probably convince those people to go. But someone who maybe is from city, New York or something like that, and who's always in an Uber, always in a Lyft, it probably doesn't change your opinion about it. The name of the Samsung phone, isn't it? You're referring to the Galaxy's Edge, which is the name of the new Star Wars Land. It is actually also the name of the Samsung phone, which is interesting. It's not like Samsung is some unknown company. Like, they're both very large companies. Disney knew that. Like, it seems like somebody at a board meeting should have been like, excuse me, we should probably not call it that. But we'll see. Mouse Seekers, right now it's through Concierge. It will be requested by app when it goes live. And yes, Stephanie, I do have a Samsung Galaxy Edge. Let's see, going on. The first thing that they announced for parks, and I might go out of order. I'm just going on. I'm on WDW News today, and they were kind of live vlogging it. I can't find their whole list of actually what was now. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which is a mouthful because I just stumbled over it, and I'm literally reading it on my screen. Coming to Hollywood Studios. This ride will be replacing what is now everyone's out of nowhere favorite ride, the Great Movie Ride. I actually have no problem with the Great Movie Ride. I went to school for filmmaking. I do video and film production professionally outside of the Disney stuff, and so like I actually enjoy the ride, but it's old, it's dated. Could they have taken what was the Great Movie Ride and updated it? Look at the animatronic that we have in, like, Pandora now and the Navi River Journey. Like, do that. at a scale with all of them, I mean, it could be a really cool ride, but they just haven't done that. And I'm not sure that even if they did that, even if they, like, I understand a lot of the reason they were taking away the Great Movie Ride is then they don't have to pay for the copyright for, like, all the movies that they don't own. But, like, even if they were to go through and, like, take their movies, like, you could have done so many little things and, like, done a timeline of movies with things that Disney owns because they own so many properties at this point. I still don't think that would have, like, I don't think a 12-year-old would have been like, we're at Hollywood Studios, I need to go to the Great Movie Ride now. And I'm also really, really excited about a Mickey Mouse ride. It's weird that he doesn't have a ride, that basically, other than Fantasmic, there is 0 attractions, other than meeting him, that you can do for Mickey Mouse at any park. So, like, I really like this. I've noticed now that, like, people have got over their irrational love of the Great Movie Ride, and it is irrational because it's just dated. It's an old, dated ride, and we don't know until the Mickey Mouse ride opens up, but I promise it's going to be a more thrilling, more interesting ride. But I've seen people now complaining that they've basically got over their love for the Great Movie Ride, and now they're like, I don't like the art style of the drawing, the animation, the look of this Mickey Mouse. We love it here. We watch a lot of Mickey Mouse shorts, cartoons in the house. We are big fans of it. And, like, that was like, I mean, the original rumor for this ride, because this ride's actually been rumored for a while, was that it's going to be kind of a history of Mickey Mouse. So, like, you're going to go from, like, Mortimer / like Steamboat Willie, Oswald era, all the way through, like, the current drawings of short animation, which we're like, cool, I'm into that, I completely support that. And now, it just seems like it's going to be this whole ride. We don't really know what the ride is going to be. They're talking about some sort of 2.5D, which I'm assuming what that means is, like, if you've seen the video or if you've been on the Navi River journey, you have, like, the screens in the background, and they're also interacting with physical things in the foreground. And I think that's kind of what we're going to get. I also think it's going to be multiple paned layers, so, like, there'll be kind of screens that are, like, more like window screens, so, like, you could, like, in theory, they could get closer to you, and I'm assuming it's going to be something with that. But we'll see. I mean, they're talking about no 3D glasses, anything like that. So we will see where this heads in the future, as far as, like, these screens and this non-3D. But I like it. What do you guys think about it? If you're watching right now, I know some people are talking about it right now, but if you guys are watching in the future or whatever, let me know what you guys think about the Great, I'm referring to as the Great Mickey Ride because it's just fun. I didn't hate the Great Movie Ride the times that we rode it, but, like, I'm much more excited about this, and I don't think it destroys the park. It is the last attraction from opening day at MGM Studios. I'm not about, if you've ever watched this or you've ever talked to me on Twitter, you know that I'm not about turning Disney into a museum, so there's very few rides that I care that much about. I'm excited to see it go. I'm really, really excited about this Mickey Mouse ride. Going over to the chat room real quick. I think it's perfect to have a Mickey ride. The Great Movie Ride served its purpose. Time for something new, and Mickey is what started it all. I completely agree. That was from Mouse-Eared World, which thanks for tuning in, guys, and thanks for watching. But yeah, I completely agree. Like, I think right now and going forward, I think we're going to see this more once Star Wars and Toy Story open up, and possibly what we talked about a few weeks ago, Monsters, Inc. I think we're going to see Hollywood Studios go away from being a celebration of cinema to where you go to live in these lands and these worlds and live in the story. Be fully immersed. Like, you see these Star Wars things, we'll get to the hotel later, but, like, it's going to be like that with Toy Story. You're apparently in Andy's backyard. I think that's where I think this is what that place is going to be. I think the whole concept of Hollywood Studios, MGM Studios being a celebration of the movies or a celebration of the cinemas is complete. Days are numbered. Like, as soon as 2019 rolls around, I don't think it's going to be that at all. And I'm fine with that. And I went to school for filmmaking. I consider myself a video / filmmaker professionally. Like, I don't care. I think the Mickey Ride is going to be better. Let's see. I love the new Mickey style, says the Mouse Seekers. So do we. Stephanie Lockwood, it never hurts. It hurts like I like the Great Movie Ride, but it is crazy. There has never been a Mickey ride. Yeah, I mean, I also I think it's weird. The only argument I see is I somewhat think it's weird that the Mickey ride is going to be not at Disneyland and not at the Magic Kingdom. The studios seem like a odd choice for that, but I'm completely, again, okay with it. Let's go more to the chat room here. Mickey ride should be great. Crazy Christine crew. I agree. I wish they showed the shorts more on Disney Junior. Yes, I do wish they did. But if you do go on YouTube here and you search Mickey Mouse, he has his own channel, and there's I think like 70 or 80 of them on there, and they're great. Like you can load a playlist and it'll play for like 2 hours. Like we do it very frequently for Quinn. Like if she's looking for something to watch or whatever, like it's a good way to kind of keep her attention, and she likes it, we like it. They're not annoying like some cartoons can be. Moving on to the next one. Let me check the chat room before I go on. Let's see. I wish they showed the show tomorrow. Oh, my cousin just said, or my husband, Crazy Christine Cruz said, LOL, my husband just said the same thing. It's weird that it's going to Hollywood Studios. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, but as I just said a minute ago, I think once we see Hollywood Studios as its whole, which is good to be, I'll say 2020, because 2019 Star Wars, but I think they're probably not done. Once we see that as its whole, I don't think it's going to be the park that it was. I don't think it's going to be a celebration of the studio, of cinema and the films and all this stuff. Mouse Seekers, oh, good to know. Thank you. Yeah, like I said, just Google it. It's from Disney too. It's not like someone like bootlegged all these cartoons and put them on there. Like it's an official, legit. You're not like giving Disney the money. You're giving them the views. So, Stephanie Lockwood. So will they change the name of the park? And Mouse Seekers World already responded. Yes, it's been rumored the name will change. Yeah, it's been rumored for actually a while. Like basically since they announced Star Wars Land a couple of years ago that it will be changed. I don't know what it will be changed to. I don't have a suggestion. I think it's going to be something like Disney's Movie Land or Disney's Movie World. I don't know, something like that. Movie Kingdom. Those are all. I've heard a few rumors. I can't remember what they were, but yeah. Mouse World said can't give too many details, but did a days-long survey for Disney last year after a trip, and it sounds like it'll be more about being in an adventure, which is awesome. Yeah, that's what I was saying a minute ago. Like, I don't think it's going to be any more about celebrating the cinema so much as it's going to be about living in these worlds. You're going to live in Star Wars Land, especially with the hotel. You're going to be in Andy's backyard. We're hearing rumors of Monstropolis coming to the other part of the park. Like, you're going to live in this Monsters, Inc. world. I just think that's what it's going to be. Like, when you're looking at Buena Vista, I don't think Tower of Terror is going to be around forever. I think the ride will, but I don't think it's going to be Tower of Terror. So I think you're going to see Buena Vista Boulevard, that turn into like a land. Like, I just think the day of it being the celebration of cinema is probably numbered. Moving on to the next thing so we can actually get done. It's 20 minutes on the first topic, guys. Let's see. Galaxy's Edge, Ratatouille. Okay, Epcot announcements. Ratatouille is coming to France. We kind of basically 100% knew this. This is not really a new thing. We've heard these rumors for, at least if you listen to any like podcasts or anything like that, or on Twitter, you've heard these rumors for quite some time. So it's looking like Ratatouille's coming to the France Pavilion. There are permits filed for an area next to France, so you're actually not going to lose any of the current things that are there, restaurants or attractions. It's going to be next to it. You can go watch a video ride through of this ride from Disneyland Paris. Unless you speak French, though, you probably don't fully know what's going on, but you can get a general idea of it. It's also in 3D, so it's all the videos will be fairly blurry. So, but you can get an idea of what it is. It looks really awesome. I've actually heard almost nobody mad about this, which is shocking for the Disney fandom. I think it's good. I think we're going to see in the future almost every single one of these pavilions have more than just a Circle Vision show of some sort or ride or something. So I think this is just step one. Guardians of the Galaxy coming to Epcot also, but they didn't officially confirm. But if you look at the rendering, the art that they showed for it, it looks like it's going to be for sure in Ellen's Universe of Energy, which seems like it's on its way out. But they didn't describe what the ride was going to be. We also heard rumors that there's going to be multiple rides. It's almost going to be like a mini land in this pavilion, which almost would make sense because the the permits that have been filed for it are much larger than the current space. It goes back into like a retention pond area and stuff like that. So it sounds like they didn't say what the ride was going to be. There was rumors also that we were going to get Mission Breakout. Yes, the Tower of Terror. They're going to build another drop ride at Epcot. And in the rendering, I don't see that ride anywhere in the rendering. So I think that one's kind of out of the question, but it looks like it's coming. I'm excited about it. I think same with talking about Hollywood Studios not being the same park that it was. I think Future World specifically in Epcot, like, I don't think it's going to be the same as what it was. I don't think we're going to be trying to predict the future. Like, technology advances so quick that there's no way they could ever make a truly futuristic park. But I think I think the Guardians of the Galaxy are going to somehow try to spin this into energy of some sort or whatever their pavilion ends up being. But I think basically every pavilion's in for an IP, a character overlay, something of some sort. What do you guys think about that? I know everyone's kind of mixed on Guardians. I think some people really like the Guardians stuff. I think other people are like really want to have a 45-minute long, really outdated ride where they promote fossil fuel and oil. Some people are into that. So what do you guys think? I watched it. It looks pretty good, or it looks pretty cool. I'm assuming you're talking about the 70 Lockwood. I'm assuming you're talking about the ride too, right? It looks very cool. I'm very excited about it. This is like the one thing that was announced that like I think is like almost within the Disney fandom, universally agreed that it's like a positive. Let's see. Moving on from Guardians, because we didn't get much details about it. New film in China. If you don't know, there's Circle Vision films in France, Canada, and China. China is considered by many to be the worst. And they are going to update it. Initially, it was rumored that they're just updating it, like adding Mushu into scenes, kind of like Martin Short is the narrator at Canada. Mushu, by the way, is Mulan's like sidekick, if you are unaware. But yeah, there's rumor that they're going to add that having to it. But now it looks like they're talking about like a seamless Circle Vision, which if you've never been in Circle Vision, it's a circle of a room, but like they're all individual screens and projectors onto them, which is really cool, and that's how they film it. But it sounds like they're going to redo the screen to be one solid screen, which I think would be really cool. And it sounds like almost like they're going to be reshooting some of the films. So like, I'm really intrigued. But again, it was something they kind of threw out there, but they didn't say much about. Do you guys watch the Circle Vision movies when you're at Disney? If you do you like them? Do you wish they would redo this something? I think we're going to keep the Circle Vision films for a while because there's a lot of technology and it's kind of a Walt thing, but like nothing else from Walt seems to be too sacred anymore, so maybe they'll get rid of it. I like the Canada one a lot. Martin Short's really funny, and it's something to do in Canada, and I like it. Let's see. New table service restaurant coming to Epcot. And that table service restaurant is space themed. It's going to be a Mission Space restaurant, which I'm really excited for. I love Mission Space, so I'm also really excited for there to be a Mission Space restaurant. I'm hoping it's not signature dining, because I will just then never be able to afford to eat there. And if I can never afford to eat there, then I probably will never even attempt it, which is a bummer. But if it's a nice table service, even if it's more on the expensive end, we can probably save up and make that happen. And I love space. I love Mission Space to ride. I'm really excited about this one. It almost looks like Coral Reef, where like there's the tanks on the kind of the outside of the restaurant, and you can see all the fish and the divers and stuff like that. It's almost like there's gonna be like a screen version of this on the outside of the restaurant, and it's gonna look like you're looking out into space. It looks really, really awesome. Speaking of Mission Space was just before D23 announced that it was going to be down for a little bit longer than it was initially supposed to be down for this summer. And now it's going to be getting an updated green side. The green side is the less intense side, so that's cool. I mean, if you like the Mission Space, which I already do, a less intense version of that at sometimes, maybe just after you've eaten, or if you have a small child like I do, the less intense side in a updated version where they're saying it's even less intense than what the green was before. They're calling it, I believe, family or kid-friendly, which, if you've ever rode Mission Space, there's not much that's kid-friendly about it. Sounds pretty cool. I'm going to continue to ride the orange, but I would ride the updated green one once it is finished. Do you guys ride Mission Space? Do you get sick on it? Have you ever even tried to do those? I know there's a lot of people who just hear the rumors of people getting sick and they don't even actually get on the ride. Next thing, Star Wars Hotel coming to Walt Disney World. Another thing that we were also rumored and everyone knew about kind of much before, there was a lot of surveys going on about Star Wars. There was even at one point in time like a concept art floated out there as like from Disney saying like, hey, is this something anybody would be interested in for like surveys and stuff like that? Of course, everyone's very interested. It sounds like it's going to be in the parking lot or completely attached to Hollywood Studios, which is awesome because it means that there will probably be an entrance directly into the studios, which is awesome. It's considered a full immersion. I don't know the words they're talking about. Basically, it's going to be a 2-day experience. You book for 2 days. You don't have an option. It's a 2-day experience. You go in, and basically you have like missions and like you live the story. You become like a Jedi or whoever your character becomes, and then you go out and you go on missions. You fly the Millennium Falcon. The prices haven't been confirmed yet, but Len Testa was talking about $650 per person per night. So it'd be like $2,500, or no, $650 for the 2 nights. Yeah, $650 for the 2 nights. So like my family of 3 would be like $2,000, about that. Which is pricey, but he also later said that it includes Hollywood Studios park tickets and food. Again, none of this is confirmed by Disney, but like that's a pretty good. Like I shouldn't say it's a pretty good deal. That is a deal. That isn't the worst. And it's a lot of money, but like if you start like comparing it to like a cruise or anything like that, it tends to like, because you're talking a very similar experience to a cruise. You're set in an area, you're not supposed to leave the hotel / the park, and you're in the story, so just like the cruise, and the food's included, your experience, your activities are included, so it's very comparable to a cruise in that way, except for you don't get to go to like foreign destinations. So like, I'm actually kind of excited about it. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but like, I think this is going to be really cool in the end. I just don't know that we'll ever be able to afford it, but maybe. I mean, the number seems ridiculous when you first hear it, but if it does include food, and if it does include Hollywood Studios park tickets, I'm assuming because you're going to be on some sort of mission, you'll get some sort of fast pass to attractions, and then I could be wrong about that, but like I think this could be like a really cool experience, especially for 2 days. Like, I don't know, I could be wrong, but like I really really like the idea of this full immersion thing. I think they could do a lot of crazy things with it. Let's see. Mouse Air World, super excited about the new restaurant. We're talking about the Mission Space restaurant. Can't wait to hear more about it. Heard it might go where Wonders of Life was. Actually, if you look at the rendering for the restaurant and the update to Mission Space and the Guardian or where the Guardians thing is supposed to be the Ellens thing, it looks like what Wonders of Life Pavilion is still there. That doesn't mean that it's not inside there, because you could be 1,000% right. But I think the structure that is the Wonder of Life Pavilion is still going to stay. So maybe on the inside? We'll see. The Mouse Seekers, there's a big question about this hotel. That is if it's a mandatory to play along with the immersion itself in the hotel. From what I understand, the Mouse Seekers, and again, anybody watching this should know that like I have no connections within Disney. I just listen to, a silly amount of podcasts, and I watch a silly amount of vlogs, and like read a ton amount of blogs, and I just kind of gather all this fairly useless information in my head. But from what I've gathered, it is mandatory. Now, like, I'm sure if like you didn't want to fly the Millennium Falcon, which if you're doing the Star Wars ride, you want to fly the Millennium Falcon, but I'm sure if like there was a motion sickness or something like that with it, and you didn't want to do it, I'm sure you don't. They're not gonna like pick you up and put you on it. But yeah, I think that's supposed to be like you don't leave the hotel / the Star Wars area, and you kind of just you live within this world, and I'm sure they can alter your story within your 2 days, but for the most part, yeah, I think it's all pretty mandatory. But I also don't think you pay this kind of money for a star. It's not like this is a space hotel. It's not like this is a sci-fi hotel. This is a Star Wars hotel. So like, I don't think you're paying this kind of money and booking a stay at a Star Wars hotel for a hotel that is considered a full immersion, like live within the story hotel, to then get there and be like, you know what? I really don't want to go meet that Boba Fett. I think everything that's going to be included with it is going to be something that's just going to, like, I'm going to assume it's doing it just like, if you're a Star Wars fan, you're paying this kind of money, you're probably a fairly big Star Wars fan. I think at that point you're kind of going all in for it. Let's see, Mouse Eater World. Take all our money. Nate will just lose it if we can't stay there at least once, even if it's years from when it opens. Mega Star Wars nerds. I really enjoy Star Wars. I wouldn't call myself a mega Star Wars nerd. Not for lack of trying, but the comparison I always give is I really enjoy Star Wars. Like, down there, I have all the movies, and we frequently still watch Episode 7. We are fans. I even don't really hate the prequels. I actually thoroughly enjoy the third movie. The first two were kind of rough, but overall I like it. But like I own Star Wars Trivial Pursuit, and I'm not sure I can answer one question in that game. So like that's why I say I'm not like a mega Star Wars nerd. Other than that, I really like it, but I don't have the deep knowledge of Star Wars, but I'm excited for it. I would, as you agree, as you said, like even if it's years later, I would love to do this Star Wars hotel experience. I would love to do this almost in any storyline. There is rumors, or Universal had put out a survey this week, and a lot of people were like speculating that like there's going to be a Harry Potter hotel. If there's a Harry Potter hotel, talk about something I am a mega nerd about. It's Harry Potter. I would lose my mind over that. So, we'll see. Let me go on to the next thing, because I am rambling on more than normal tonight. Tron Light Cycle confirmed, coming to the Magic Kingdom. This is another thing that we have basically known. I don't think there was much at D23 that, other than the space restaurant, and other than the thing that we're going to talk about next, I don't think there was much at D23 that we didn't already, like, know about. And I think it's just the day and age. Like, we have bloggers and stuff who can sit and look at permits and stuff like that and, like, speculate, and people who know people, and, like, with Twitter, you can get information out there. But we already knew this. Rumored that it was either coming to Future World or Tomorrowland. The Tron coaster from Shanghai. It's Shanghai's most popular attraction. If you've seen any videos, you probably are also excited about this. Some people are like, oh, I don't like the movie Tron. Who cares? It's going to be an awesome ride. Who cares if you don't like the movie Tron? This thing's going to be awesome. The rumor just before D23 was that it was going to replace the Speedway. I talked about last week. I spent the far majority of last week or the week before, whenever we talked about this, saying, take the Speedway. It's a terrible ride. I stand by that. The Speedway is a terrible ride. They should have taken it, but it lives. It stays. They are not taking it away. It's actually going to be behind / in between Spaceship Earth and the Speedway, which is really awesome. Good for them. Like, you get, the people who really like that ride, you get to keep your ride. But it's kind of a bogus ride. I don't care what you guys say. It's coming. It's cool. It's confirmed. It's happening. All this is supposed to be happening. Everything that was announced at D23 is supposed to be done before the 50th, which is 2021. So it's happening. Woo! I don't have really anything to say about it. Have you guys seen the Tron coaster videos? Are you interested in it? Are you excited for it? Do you hate it? Let me know what your thoughts on the Tron coaster is. The next thing is that they announced for the Magic Kingdom was a new theater. And this, my friends, is where I am most intrigued and most confused, and I've been doing the most, like, re-watching the panel and rereading everything that was said. There's a new theater coming. They say on Main Street. But if you think about Main Street, if you look at a map, I have a lot of maps. If you don't know this about me, I collect maps. If you lay out a map and you look at it, there isn't an area that makes sense for this new theater. So here is the rumors. Are we going to replace Town Square Theater, where Mickey currently meets with Tinkerbell? I don't think that's going to happen. I would say I am a hard, like 98% sure that is not going to happen. Do we put the theater next door / kind of across, either directly next door, closing off the pathway that goes behind Main Street, kind of over to Tomorrowland that they open up for like parties and like to get fireworks guests out and stuff like that? Does it go right there, blocking that off? I don't think that's going to happen either, because it doesn't make sense to put a theater, the Town Square Theater, next to this new theater. So then we go down Main Street. Does it go, do we finally lose the alley? I can't think of the name of that side street. You know, the side street on Main Street to the right. If you're heading towards the castle, it's on the right, halfway down. Do we finally lose the alley? I also don't think this is the case. Mainly because if you look at the art that's there, that they've released, it seems like it's not wedged in on actual Main Street. The next rumor is that same alley that I talked about blocking off behind Main Street there, the one that goes to Tomorrowland, open for parties / getting people out of the park. Do they open that up? And does it go back there? Is there like a second Main Street, essentially? This, I think, is somewhat likely. Also, I'm going to put more likely than all the other ones I've listed so far, but I'm also going to put that in like a 80% sure that's not the case. There's also a rumor that down that same side street that I was talking about blocking off, if you go down, there's gates to get back to that same back alley that we're talking about. Does the side street stay open? Do they permanently open those gates? And then that's how you get back to this new theater that would be in this back alley. I don't think that's the case. So you go down further down the road. And this is where I think it is going to happen. When they announced it, they used the wording, I forgot exactly what it was, but they used the wording on something around the lines of like at the end of Main Street. Which to me, in my ears, well, the reason Main Street exists, it's all about a show and a reveal. You don't think about Main Street coming from the castle to leave. That's just an afterthought. The thought is you're going from the front to the back. So that means the end is at the end when you're facing the castle. So if this goes at the end of Main Street, I don't think it's going to be physically on Main Street because you have Casey's on one side and the Plaza Ice Cream on the other side. But the current rumor that I keep reading and keep saying that everyone thinks is real, and I think this has a really good chance, is the Plaza Restaurant, which is next to the ice cream parlor. I think that's where this theater's going. If you look at the art and like what's around it, I think that makes the most sense. This theater will be housing like full Broadway style productions. I'm hoping we get like the Aladdin show that DCA used to have, or the current Frozen one that they have. They're just, people in California love them, and I would love to have them here. The other place that's been rumored that I've seen, actually, I should say it hasn't been rumored at all. I'm so shocked how few people have said this. About 3-4 months ago, there was a rumor that had came out that said the Crystal Palace was going to go away. And if you look at this, like the style of this place, I wonder if the Crystal Palace is going away and this is going to go there. If you look at a map, like Google Maps or Google Earth, there's room behind it. It kind of makes sense to go where the Crystal Palace is. The only thing that makes me think it's not is that the Magic Kingdom is sorely lacking. I mean, they have a big lacking in the restaurant sit-down world. And so it's hard for me to believe that they would take a sit-down restaurant, one that's fairly booked up almost all the time, out of service. But yeah, I'm excited about the theater just in general. We like the shows, especially at like Animal Kingdom. I have no reason to believe that I wouldn't like shows at Magic Kingdom. I'm really excited about it. I'm just really intrigued as to where it's going to go. What do you guys think? Have you seen the theater? Where do you think it's going to go? Let me know. Let's see, going back to the chat. They're talking about Tron. You guys are talking about Tron. Mouse Seekers, or Stephanie Lockwood said, so excited for Tron. It looks awesome. The Mouse Seeker said, so excited for Tron. Who isn't? Log on to Twitter and you'll find it very quickly. There are definitely people, and some on certain podcasts, who are they're excited for the ride. They don't like the idea that it's Tron. The Mouse Seekers, Stephanie Lockwood said, never seen the movies, old or new. The old one is rough. I know the Mouse Seekers is disagreeing with me below. The original is iconic. The new one is tried too hard, but is visually stunning. The old one is... I think if you didn't watch the old one when it was released, or at least as a young child, like early on, and the whole idea of being in this video game like wasn't just like crazy new to you, then you probably really liked that movie. But I think if you are someone like me, who was not introduced to the Tron movies until I was much older, I've probably seen the first one like maybe 10 years ago, so in the 2000s, that movie is not impressive at all, and the story is kind of all over the place and kind of bogus. This is going to be kind of a hot take / disagreement with almost the whole planet. You said the new one tried too hard but visually stunning. I think most people in society would agree with that. Myself and Courtney, we actually both really enjoy the new Tron movie. It's not the best movie by any stretch of the imagination, but it's fun. I like Jeff Bridges a lot. I know he was in the original, but like I even thought CGI Jeff Bridges was pretty good. But overall, I don't think anybody, there are obviously, but I don't think there's a huge fan base for Tron. It's just they own the property to it. The light cycles, the motorcycle style, I mean, it just makes so much sense. There's very few other rides they could have done with that. Moving on to the next thing. Confirmed gondolas. We're getting like the Sky Ride thing. It's going from Epcot to Hollywood Studios to the new Riviera DVC Resort, which we'll talk about next, to Caribbean Beach to Pop / Art of Animation. Yay for more transportation. There's rumors that it doesn't have air conditioning. I will never step foot on that thing ever if it doesn't have air conditioning. There's also rumors that it only holds like 6 or 10 people. Seems like a poor decision if you're trying to alleviate traffic / bus congestion. I don't like it. But overall, I like everything else about it. I will ride it at least once, but please let there actually be air conditioning on it. That would just be terrible if it did not have air conditioning. What do you guys think? You guys excited about that? Out of the two transportation things we've talked about so far, we've talked about the minivans and the gondolas. Which one are you more excited for? Which one will you actually use? Which one is most exciting to you, I should say? Let's see. We're not going to get into Disneyland stuff because I've never really been there, but Paradise Pier is now Pixar Pier. People really hate that. That was like the big hatred thing from D23. I've never been to Disneyland yet, so hopefully next year. But people really hate that. Like, we expected a lot of hate coming out of D23, and that was like the thing that people to this day are still talking about and making fun of. I actually like it. I like the Pixar characters. I have no tie to the California Adventure Paradise Pier. I've seen some funny jokes though, so bravo. And another hotel, DVC only hotel, is coming to the Boardwalk area. It's French Riviera themed, 300 rooms. I'm not DVC, and we don't rent points really ever, so we haven't yet, and I don't ever see us really doing that. But there's also talks of a rooftop hotel or rooftop bar that would have views of nighttime spectaculars at Epcot and Hollywood Studios, which would be pretty cool. I would maybe go up there one night if you could. A lot of these DVC stuff you have to be members or be taken up by a member, but I wouldn't say no to the opportunity to go up there. Let's see. They do hate that. Most are concerned if the retheming ride that are already there. Yeah, I mean, I think Mouse Seeker's talking about Paradise Pier. I think that I can see their concern, but I don't think Mickey's Fun Wheel's going anywhere because it's Mickey's Fun Wheel. But California Screaming's probably going to get rethemed. And anything else that's in that area. I don't really know. I know they have the Goofy's rocket ship things, and I think there's one specific to that area. Like, I don't know. I understand the argument of it's lazy, but to say that it's like ruining anything, it's still the same rides, guys. Like, it's just not that big of a deal. And I think that's it, guys. I don't think I have any more. Is there anything from D23 that I did not talk about that you are excited about? Is there anything about D23 that I did talk about you are excited about? I know there's movies and all this stuff. I'm not going to go through all that. We're basically just going to focus on the park stuff that came out. What do you guys think? Overall, I'm happy with it. My big complaint with D23 was I wanted more. I know I posted that on Twitter, and a couple people were like, yeah, I wanted another country in the World Showcase. I didn't expect another country, and I don't actually expect another country at all. I don't know the exact numbers, but if you just do some rough Googling and like Len Testa on his podcast, I think he's mentioned this. Somebody on some podcast that I fairly trust talked about like the amount of money that it would take to build even a very cheap, simple, no attraction country versus like what they could take all that money and do in the rest of the park. It just doesn't make sense. They could, from what I'm gathering, and I don't know this is not a scientific answer, but from what I'm gathering, they could put an attraction in every single country that already exists for the cost that it would take to build one land or one country. I just don't think it's happening, guys. I would love to see it as well, but I don't think we're getting another country in the World Showcase. I do think we are going to get a attraction or at least some sort of nice, bigger show, parade, event in every single country. I think you're going to see like a Big Hero 6 thing come to Japan, something more Mulan focus. Coco's coming, in theory, to Mexico. There's rumors of a Mary Poppins ride in the UK. I think you're going to see a little bit of everything. Canada's the only thing I can't think of anything for, but I think that's what you're going to see. I also think that a lot of the rumors we heard prior to D23 about Epcot are still on the table. I think the 35th anniversary of Epcot's coming up in October. There's a big event, and I think we're going to hear some more stuff around then about the future of Epcot. I think they didn't have a ton of time to really focus on that at D23, and I think a lot of this is still going to happen. I think the Imagination Pavilion's kind of on the chopping block. I think Mission Space is done now. I think the Ellen's area, the energy area that's now Guardians is done. I don't imagine they touch Test Track just because they have the sponsorship. I think we're going to hear an update or a change or something to Mission Space because they lost the sponsorship. Illuminations is clearly gone because they lost the sponsorship, and it's been around forever, and it's boring. Fight me. Just kidding, don't fight me. I just don't like it. I know a lot of people do them. The Land Pavilion, Living with the Land, hopefully we'll get an update or a change. The Seas with Nemo is rumored to be changed to like the Marine Life Institute from the Dory movie. We're talking about more restaurants by like the Innovations buildings. You still have the Wonders of Life, which we were talking about a little bit earlier. That's empty and unused. You still have, what's that other one? The Odyssey, where they use for like beer and stuff like that during the parties and stuff like that. I think that I think it's all not necessarily in the chopping block, but expect updates and changes. I think Epcot's going to go through a lot of change in the coming years, but I think what they were focusing on in D23 was stuff to be done before the 25th anniversary, or for the 50th anniversary at Magic Kingdom, including stuff at the other parks, and none of the rest of this is going to be done by then, but maybe 40th for Epcot. Something I also heard was a lot of people complaining that Ellen's and Great Movie Rides going away, which don't complain about that, they're terrible rides. That Stitch was still around. I think Stitch is done. It'll open seasonally or whatever, but I think that ride's done. The rumor is it's going to be a Wreck-It Ralph ride, and if you're unaware, they are currently making another Wreck-It Ralph movie. And from what they were saying on Lentessa's podcast is that, like, it's happening, but, like, those guys are making a movie, and it takes a lot of people, and you can't just pull the directors and the actors and all these people off of that movie. So I think as soon as Wreck-It Ralph is done, we'll probably hear something about the Wreck-It Ralph ride or attraction coming to the Magic Kingdom. I've seen a couple of these memes about like how does Stitch still survive, and I don't think Stitch has survived at all. One last check into the chat room before I end this out because this was really long. Something like was that I'm like you, no air conditioning, I'm not riding. Sign me up. I'll ride at least once, no matter what. I will say that. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. But like, I won't. They expect this to be a mode of transportation. We're talking about the gondolas here. They expect this to be a mode of transportation to supplement / help take some of the pressure off the buses and the monorail. And I guess it's not really the monorail, but the boat, like all this stuff. But if it ain't air conditioned, I'm not consistently getting on there. I'll get on there once, say I've done it, and get some video and some photos. And I mean, the views from it are going to be phenomenal. But like, I ain't sweating to death on that thing. Like we drive as it is. Like I try to get as close as I can. I ride the boats over the Magic Kingdom, and we barely even take the trams to the parking lot. So I ain't gonna be consistently riding that thing if it's not air conditioned. I like that comes popping art animation though. I feel like the values kind of get the snub. Anything else that anybody wants to talk about before I hang up here and end this tonight? I know that the video's been kind of cutting in and out. Thanks, Stephanie, from the beginning for letting me know that my audio wasn't working. Thanks to the Mouse Seekers and Mouse Eared World for joining in and chatting in and participating tonight. Let me know in the next couple moments if you guys have anything that you want to talk about here before we hang up. Thanks, Crazy Christine Crew, which I don't think you're in the room anymore, but if you are in the chat room, thanks for watching even the little bit that you did or however much you did. I appreciate it. We do this every Friday, 8:30. Normally, we do not do a full hour. It is very rare that we do a full hour. The past 2 weeks, we have. But usually I try to keep it 10, 15 minutes. D23 left us a lot to talk about, though. So I think that is going to do it for me right now. Yeah, let's see. All right, guys. I'm not really seeing anything. If you guys have anything else to say, let me know below. Comment for later. I think most, if not all of you, I believe all of you follow me on Twitter. Hit me up there. Crazy Christian Guru. No worries. I didn't know if you were there still or whatever, but I just want to thank everybody who was here and who participated. I can see in my little numbers a few more people were here than were participating, which is fine. I do not expect anybody to participate. So yeah, thanks anybody who even spent a moment watching this. I think anybody in the future who sat down and took 52 plus minutes now to watch what I had to say. I really, really appreciate it, guys. If you guys are interested at all, below in the description, you can see some links to our other social media. Go follow us there. Specifically, subscribe on this channel. It really helps us. Also, we have a Courtney Makes Bows. If you have not seen them, they look like I don't have any sitting right next to me right here. Hold on. It looks like so. And yeah, there's a link to the store below. And if you like these and that's something you are interested in, go on the link below and you can purchase them from us. And that really helps us out. Anything helps us out. But that's it for tonight. Thank you so much for everyone for watching. It means a lot to us that you take some time to actually watch and participate in this little thing that we do. We'll be back next Friday, 8:30, doing the same thing again, talking news. There's going to be a lot less to talk about next week, and we'll figure it out then. Thanks everybody for watching.